Jenna, thank you so much for joining me today. I just wanted to talk to you about the impact that COVID-19 had on the private placement industry. Why do you see that?
I think it affected various sectors differently. What is nice about the private placement industry is that we got a lot of direct communication with our issuers because we're a small group of investors in deals, and they could really, reach out to us and talk to us about each of their individual, problems and how they're facing them and dealing with them in COVID-19. So I think it was a huge value to have kind of private placements in our portfolio in that time period and kind of get some cutting edge information.
Now that we're out of COVID-19, we've seen now the regulations come through. How does that influence your approach towards private placements?
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's necessarily changed our approach to private placements. Look, there's nothing we can do about regulatory environments, so we just have to find ways to invest around it and, make sure that we're in compliance and structure deals in a compliant way. As a U.S. investor, it's not as strict as I think some of the European investors. So, yeah, regulation, especially in the life insurance industry, is always there and always something that we deal with. So I think it's just, continuing to evolve with anything that comes our way from a regulatory standpoint.
So do you not see that as a challenge in a way?
It's a challenge, but it's not a new challenge. It's just expect it to continue to be a challenge and expect to continue to be flexible on that front.
Shall we talk about some emerging trends in private placements?
Sure.
What do you see upcoming?
You hear a lot about, of course, continuing with BDCs, which is something that we've seen, finance companies and those sort of structures, which we've definitely seen take off in 2024. That I think that will continue to come through as a trend in 2025. You hear a lot about infrastructure and that sort of financing. I think in general, we're going to still see a lot of production, a lot of activity out of private placements, and maybe some of that is evolving to include more asset-backed structures and asset-based lending solutions. And but just a lot of good activity.
Yes, and everybody I've been speaking to, they always talk about the rising demand as well.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, again, we're a smaller life insurance company. We have about $5 billion in fixed income portfolio on our balance sheet. And so as we see deals get bigger, as we see more entrants come into the market, just continuing to make sure we're fighting to stay in that deal flow and keep these relationships strong is something that's really important to us and something that we feel like we really gained from the conference.
Amazing. Jenna, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.